back on a very busy Monday on Get Up, and we opened with this. The Lakers hitting a new low last night, just embarrassed at home by the Pelicans. 123-95. LA loudly booed throughout the night by their fans. Once again, in case you're just joining us, here were LeBron James and Russell Westbrook after what was a humiliating night at home.
I don't have an answer from tonight. I mean, obviously, you talk about the future. That's for us all to figure out. I mean, you don't know what can happen in the next, few weeks. But tonight, I mean, from the 6 minute point of the second quarter through the third, no answers. No, this season is definitely different.
Does the booing, pretty loud, especially at the end of the game, does that stick with you? Like, how do you respond to that? Like, you don't take that home with you?
Take it home for what?
I don't think about it.
Take it home. Man, well, I got 3 beautiful kids at my house. My wife, I ain't taking it home. They can take their boo and they can take their home. I ain't worried about that. Doesn't bother me none.
Okay, so JWill makes his way over from ESPN Radio. What? I mean, where do we begin?
Well, I mean, there's some pretty incriminating evidence out there about LeBron James, Trevor Ariza, and Russell Westbrook talking trash back to Laker fans, right? And it's interesting when they're on the road to do things like that, but doing that at home is not good. And when you lose to the Clippers in the fashion that they did Friday night, I watched you guys call the game, right? Controversial call down the stretch. The lack of sense of urgency that you had in the game against the Pelicans, a team that is 2.5 games behind you, vying for that play-in tournament spot, is just so revealing to me. You never see LeBron James teams do that. And look how they quit on some of these plays, all right? The shot goes up, and I get that Melo does his three, hits his head a couple times, but everybody getting beat back in transition, not even seeing the ball from Melo. Now you're going to see another one from LeBron James, okay? Pushing the ball down, get stripped, that's fine. I get that LeBron James has to do a lot. 34-33, you talk about second quarter, 6:49 left. Get back into play, LeBron. Where's LeBron? Where's LeBron? Where's LeBron? Oh, there he is, goaltending. And then the last play, just simple miscommunication between LeBron. It was not even miscommunication. His man is wide open. Now watch, he doesn't even make the effort to get out there. Russell's like, what the hell is going on? Should I go out there? I think, look, I'm not paying this all on LeBron James, but I think when there's a lack of sense of urgency about the position they're in, it looks like this Lakers team has honestly quit. It seems like they've quit, and they disrespected the game of basketball last night.
Certainly for last night, they did.
For sure.
That's an embarrassing performance. Can anything turn it around? And at this point, they look like a team that they'll probably sort of limp into the play-in tournament. That's a crapshoot, so you never know. But even if they get out of that, they would have no chance in the first round. Is there anything you could see happening that would change that?
No. I mean, sometimes you just have to believe people when they tell you who they are.
Yeah.
And this is who the Lakers are right now. Now, could they get through a play-in tournament scenario? Potentially, yes, with Anthony Davis back. But there's nothing about this team and watching them play, watching the way they execute, watching through all the off-court drama they're witnessing right now. I mean, even hearing LeBron James talk about, I got trust and confidence in this organization. When you think about Greeny, Linda, Kurt, didn't mention Rob Pelinka's name. There's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot to unpack. I don't have any confidence in them at all.
I mean, every other day, there's a different storyline. And sometimes that comes with the Lakers, and it comes with LeBron. But right now, it's just a disaster for the Lakers. Let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum, from the west to the east and from the bottom to the top. The Sixers look spectacular. It's hard to believe as you watch Embiid and Harden play that was only their second game together yesterday at the Garden. Joel Embiid had 37. Harden had a huge triple-double, not just numbers, 29 points, 10 boards, 16 assists. I mean, he filled up the stat sheet, and after the game, Embiid said that they are unstoppable. Kind of hard to argue. What do you see right now when you see those two guys?
Well, I think this is one of the most dynamic duos we've had in the game of basketball, especially pick and roll, I said, since John Stockton and Karl Malone. Now, they did play against the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks.
Right.
So I want to put that into perspective. So this is not playoff basketball when the court becomes more shrunk and guys rotate different defensively. But I don't know how you realistically do stop this. And also for Joel Embiid, 36 points, went to the free throw line 27 times.
Right.
27 times. So James Harden in that pick and roll scenario makes the situation so much easier. But mark my words, this comes down to Doc Rivers and strategy down the stretch when you get into playoffs. It's going to work in the regular season. But if it doesn't start working in playoffs, can he pivot and can he put them in other scenarios to make them successful? That's going to be the biggest challenge for the 76ers.
Well, we're going to have Miami play Chicago tonight. That's for the top spot in the East right now. You have those two teams. You have whatever Brooklyn becomes when they get their guys back. Cleveland's had a very good year. Who am I forgetting? Boston's
coming up.
A bunch of really good teams. Milwaukee, obviously the defending champs with Giannis. Right now, are the Sixers the team to beat in the East?
Yes. Right now, the Sixers are the team to beat in the East. But there is a huge target, and the target isn't on James or JWill. I'm just trying to tell you again how Doc Rivers activates these two.
Yeah.
When you get into playoff basketball, we all know that the scouting report becomes even more enhanced, will be the biggest question around this team's success.
Okay, we will see about all of them in the East. And then before I let you run back to radio, I just want everyone, in case you didn't see Saturday night, this move from Ja Morant. Jay, how do we describe this?
Greeny, this is, I ranked my top 3 most box office guards to watch, players to watch in the NBA. I had Kyrie number 3, I had Steph Curry number 2, and I got Ja Morant number 1. I mean, a reverse 360. Think about, you usually finish that with your left hand. He finishes it with his inside right hand in a game for 46 points to beat the Bulls on the road. What are you talking? It's crazy.
And he did it in Chicago, significant, as in his 3rd year. Once upon a time in Chicago, in his 3rd year, Derrick Rose was the MVP of the league. And that's the guy this guy reminds you of, right? He is Derrick Rose. You think back to Derrick Rose when Rose was the MVP. Just remember how spectacular he was before he started getting hurt. That's what Morant reminds me of.
He has Derrick Rose athletic ability and more of an AI body. You know, even meet AI. AI is like 6'1", 6'2",
right.
a $185. You're like, how does that, can I blow you? But yes, like that body type, and he's fearless with his attack and reckless abandon to the rim. I've never seen a player at this size as athletic with the dexterity to finish, as purpose-driven as he is.
Well, you said it last week. Do not overlook Memphis in the West.
Finals,
we have treated that thing like a 2-man or 2-horse race since the beginning with Golden State and Phoenix. Do not overlook Memphis. All right, Jay's got to get back on the radio.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.